You know that feeling in a movie, right when the music swells and your heart starts pounding? Or that beat in a song that you just cannot get out of your head? Well, what if I told you there's a whole secret army of instruments behind all that? Today, we're going deep and uncovering that secret rhythm section.
Seriously, just think about it for a second. What is it that gives a movie score that huge, epic power? That thing that literally gives you goosebumps? And what about your favorite song? What gives it that driving beat you just have to move to?
Well, the answer is a massive crew of instruments working behind the scenes. Some are ancient, they're all super powerful, and they are incredibly diverse.
Yep, we are talking about the percussion section. Okay, so to really get a handle on this huge group, let's think of them like different squads in a video game. Each one has its own special abilities and its own role to play. So let's meet the players. First thing you gotta know, there are two main teams on the field. You've got your pitched instruments. Think of these as the singers in a band. They can play actual melodies and specific musical notes. Then you have the unpitched instruments. These guys are more like the sound effects crew in a game. They bring the rhythm, the hype, and all the cool textures that build the whole atmosphere.
And check this out. It is so much more than just one big drum. In a typical orchestra, the percussion section is a whole mix. Drums are the heavy hitters for sure, taking up about 40% of the space. But then you've got mallet instruments right behind them, cymbals and gongs for all that drama, and this whole other category of specialized gear.
Okay, let's dive into that first squad, the drums. These are the heavy hitters, the tanks of the group. Their job is to lay down that main beat, the rhythmic foundation that everyone else builds on.
So in this lineup, you've got your snare drum with that sharp, snappy sound and the deep boom of the bass drum. But then you have the timpani, and these are so cool because they can actually be tuned to play different notes. They're the ones that give you that dun, dun, doon feeling of suspense. And of course, you got your tom-toms for all those classic rolling fills.
All right, next up, let's meet the mages of the percussion world, the mallet squad. If the drums are the tanks holding down the front line, these are the melody makers, casting all the musical spells with really cool tunes and harmonies.
In this squad, you'll find the xylophone with its bright wooden sound and its bigger, deeper-voiced cousin, the marimba. You've also got the vibraphone, which has this amazing metallic, shimmering sound that just hangs in the air, and the glockenspiel, which sounds like tiny, bright bells. These are the instruments that bring those really clear, sometimes magical-sounding melodies from the back of the orchestra. Now, for the special effects department, the cymbals and gongs. This squad is all about the big, epic, dramatic moments. We're talking about that huge crash that makes you jump in a movie, or that deep gong sound that tells you something major is about to go down. I mean, they can create everything from those intense, explosive crash cymbal hits to these long, shimmering sounds that just build and build suspense. And the gongs, they bring those super deep, resonant tones that can fill an entire room. It's all about adding color and intensity. And last but definitely not least, we have the auxiliary squad. Think of these as the specialists, maybe the character actors of the percussion world. They bring all the unique little colors and textures that really make the music interesting and give it personality. And this category is huge. Seriously, it includes everything from tambourines and woodblocks to the clear ding of a triangle or the sound of maracas and all different kinds of shakers. Every single one adds its own specific flavor to the music, sometimes even imitating sounds from real life, like wind or rain. So we've met all the different squads, but how do they actually play all this stuff? Well, it's time to open up the rhythm playbook and see how this whole team works together. Percussionists basically have a bunch of special moves. The most basic attack, of course, is striking something with sticks or mallets. But they also have to master shaking for instruments like maracas and even scraping to create some really unique sounds. But the real skill, that comes in mastering the combos, like super fast rolls that create one long sustained sound. It's kind of like their ultimate move.
So, how do they know what to play and when? Well, they're not just winging it. They have a secret code. Think of it like a level map or a quest guide in a game. Percussion sheet music uses all these special symbols that tell a player exactly which instrument to pick up, precisely when to play it, and which special move to use. It's their blueprint for bringing the whole thing to life.
And speaking of blueprints, some composers didn't just follow the map, they totally redrew it. They completely changed the game for percussion. So let's check out a couple of those legendary players in percussion's Hall of Fame.
First up to the plate, Igor Stravinsky.
This guy was a total revolutionary.
See, before him, percussion was often kind of stuck in the background, just keeping time. But Stravinsky dragged it right into the spotlight and made rhythm the absolute star of the show. He used drums for these powerful, raw, dramatic effects that audiences back then had literally never heard before. He basically unlocked their full power.
And next in our Hall of Fame is Bela Bartok.
So, Bartok's game-changing move was to expand the team roster. He looked at all those cool, weird, and unusual auxiliary instruments that were kind of sitting on the bench and was like, nope, you're in the game now. He brought them right onto the main stage and used them to create totally new sound worlds. It was like he discovered a whole new secret level no one knew existed.
Okay, so we've met the squads, we've peeked inside the playbook, and we've honored the legends. So now it's your turn to find the rhythm.
Look, if there's one big message to take away from all of this, it's this. Percussion is so much more than just a simple beat. It's the incredibly diverse and powerful heartbeat, pumping life into pretty much all the music you listen to.
And that leaves us with one final challenge. The next time you're listening to a song, or you're playing a video game, or watching a movie, just listen. Really listen. Where can you hear the percussion? What's it doing? You'll probably be surprised by what you find hiding in plain sight.